France 24's Luke Shrago is in central Paris. We can cross over to him now to see how things are going. Luke, tell us firstly, how are things actually opening up? There seems to be lots of rules of where people can sit, and I believe a lot of terrace seats have already been booked.
Well, indeed, the first time in 6 weeks that non-essential businesses are reopening as France winds down its third lockdown. Some for even longer: cinemas, museums, and of course the city's famous terrace, many of which have been closed for around 6 months as businesses spooling up for people to return. Now, there are these limits on capacity with still concerns about the state of COVID across France. With the terrace, as you can see behind me, there are tables that have been spaced out. They're all around me at the moment as people are beginning to return, and they're limited to 50% of their capacity, at least those with outdoor areas where they can put seating down. They've also got limits of 6 people per table. Now, shops on their side have been limited as well by surface area. They've been closed since April the 3rd, and it's a similar state for museums and tourist sites. They're opening along the lines of pre-booked tickets in an effort to keep crowds to a minimum. Now, other areas such as indoor gyms, they are still closed, and working from home is very much, for now at least, still the rule, with those rules in effect, with many non-EU tourists still being barred from moving in. Now, of course, the lockdown is slowly starting to be lifted. There is a gradual opening elsewhere. That is the watchword, gradual, with the curfew today on Wednesday being pushed back from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Hopefully that the government is going to push that back further on the June the 9th to 11 p.m. with an aim eventually to lifting it entirely towards and at the end of June.
Of course, Luke, it's only shortly after 8 a.m. here in the French capital, so the terrace behind you is still quite quiet. But overall, what have people been telling you about how they feel about this reopening? I imagine it's a mix of excitement and caution.
With most people, it's a great deal of happiness that they're able to get back out to the terrace. However, at least on the business side, there have been quite a lot of concerns, a few questions about the difficulties that have gone with reopening. It's not been easy for restaurants and bars to get going again. The estimations is that there have been around about 100,000 people, servers, staff, and so on, that haven't just left the city for the lockdown to go elsewhere, but have in fact left the sector altogether, and that's left serious difficulties for managers and businesses to get around rehiring staff, often into jobs that are particularly difficult, that come amid hard conditions. There also have been questions about the weather. Now, we've got beautiful blue sky at the moment, but the weather forecast is saying that it is going to be raining today. So there are questions about just many have been wondering whether it's, including with reduced capacity, whether it's really worth opening at all. For shops on their part, they've got their own questions. The questions over what to do with unsold stock. Now, the summer sales are due to be going ahead next month. That date hasn't yet been changed, but the question as to whether the ultimate summer sales will be prolonged as the winter ones were in an effort to sell and get rid of unsold stock. And of course, beyond all this, you've got the government looming over all, saying that it is prepared to slam on the brakes again in the event of the numbers going up.
Luke Shrago in central Paris, thanks indeed for that.